let's talk about how to teach your child to count. So a lot of people try to rush in and teach numbers, and that's really impossible to do starting off because numbers are an abstract representation of counting. So you have to teach counting first. So I don't actually sit down and do formal lessons about counting. We just put it into all sorts of things around the world. So for instance, when they're real little, my husband and I will walk with them. We'll each hold one of their hands and we will say 1, 2, 3, swing, or we do that. And so eventually we make them start counting. So then at least they've got the basic of counting 1, 2, 3 down. I like to keep things around my house just for them to count. I've got a jar of shells. I keep a thing of, actually, this is not my foreign money, but I keep money around for them to count. My mom taught us with buttons. She always had the most amazing collection of buttons, and so it was just fun to play with. And she would give us an egg carton, and you just sit there and you count and you put them in. Using that, I did this one time. It's an egg carton turned upside down, and I poked holes in the top and made pipe cleaner carrots for them to count those like that, and then they can put them back in. I don't remember if this was from when we did the book Tops and Bottoms or from studying rabbits or farms, something like that. You can get the official math counters that most teachers like, are these cute teddy bears. They're good for patterns and colors as well, but you don't have to get anything this fancy. So you can just line those up and take turns counting. A cheaper version of that would be Army toys, or I found these cute ones for girls at the dollar store. You can play games for counting. I always let my kids play with all of our games. So this is actually a cribbage set, which is for a grown-up card game. And we play it with dice. And so we put our pegs in and we roll a dice and you get to move forward that many pegs is the way that we play it. And so that's a good way to start counting. Also the game Hi-Ho Cheerio, if you can stand that one. For a more advanced kid, you can have them playing Uno. This will start introducing them to the numbers though. So really they have to have counting down before they're going to be able to play Uno, as well as colors. You could teach them a counting song. Like when I was a kid, it was 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians, 10 little Indian braves. I'm sure there's a whole bunch more like that. You could do touch math. So I always use just a plastic lid. I keep a whole stack of these left over from yogurt and other things and give them a little bit of paint. And so they do 1 dot for 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is like this, and 5 is, I think, like that. There's actually a certain way of doing it on touch math, and this is for later on for kids that are struggling with adding. So you could look this up. There's actually for 6, 7, 8, and 9, but you don't have to follow the particular pattern. Or you could do it with like Q-tips and paint if you don't want their fingers to get messy. You could also make up a version of this with circles missing, and then they could fill that in with pom-poms. And then we also do a lot of counting when we do cooking. My kids love to sit on the counter and scoop, whatever, flour in there, whatever. And I'll usually give them a smaller measuring cup than what we need, just so that we can do extra counting that way. And so all these things, my kids don't even realize that at school, and then they're finally ready for numbers. So there you go. It's not a big deal.